The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. On the streets of Dubai, the currency is dirham. But for 50 good years, the soul of that currency has been the US dollar. That is until now. A tectonic shift is happening in the desert. The United Arab Emirates has just issued a warning that has sent shockwave from the White House to the halls of the Kremlin. They are now ready to do the unthinkable. Trade their black gold for Chinese yuan. If you are new here, this is the latest on Gen 1, a Pan-African channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. Is the petrodollar dying? And more importantly, why is Africa still asleep while the rest of the world is waking up to a new financial dawn? To understand the future, we must look back at 1974. The world was in an energy crisis. The US made a deal of the century with Saudi Arabia and the OPEC nations. The dollar was simple. The deal was simple. The US will provide military protections and hardware. In exchange, OPEC will price and sell oil exclusively in US dollars. This created the petrodollar. It means every country on earth, from Japan to Nigeria to Ghana, had to hold piles of US cash just to keep their lights on. This made the dollar the undisputed king, but every empire has its limits. Fast forward to today, April 2026, the Middle East is the powder king. With the Strait of Hormuz under blockade, the UAE is facing a liquidity crisis. They asked Washington for dollar swap line, a financial lifeline. Washington hesitated and the UAE didn't wait. They have now signaled that if the US won't provide the dollars, they will turn to the east. They have already joined the M-Brick project, a digital highway that allows them to bypass the US banking system entirely and trade directly in yuan.
The United Arab Emirates has reportedly issued a strong warning to the United States, suggesting it could begin selling oil in Chinese yuan if access to the global dollar system becomes restricted. For decades, global oil trade has been dominated by the US dollar, a system that gives Washington enormous financial influence. Countries around the world rely on dollars to buy energy, making the US central to how global trade flows. But that balance could start to shift. The UAE is signaling that if it faces financial pressure such as sanctions or limits on dollar access, it may start accepting payments in the Chinese yuan instead. While no official policy change has been announced, even raising the possibility is significant. Why this matters? It could weaken the dollar's grip on the global oil market over time. It could boost China's influence in international trade. It shows even key U.S. partners are thinking about alternatives. Analysts say a full transition wouldn't happen overnight. The dollar is still deeply embedded in global finance, and moving away from it would take time and coordination. Still, the message is clear. Control of the global financial system is no longer being taken for granted, and the rules could slowly start to change.
We have major news as the United Arab Emirates has just asked the United States for a wartime financial lifeline as the war in Iran continues to drag on. They are concerned about economic instability within their country. According to new Wall Street Journal reporting, the UAE Central Bank has brought up the idea of a currency swap line with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Fed Reserve officials. Now, it's important to note they have not officially asked for this. They are just starting to talk about it and see if it is a possibility, but they say this is a worst-case situation type event in which they would request this formally. But they are saying they're concerned because they are no longer selling oil because it's all stuck in the Persian Gulf since nothing is moving through the Strait of Hormuz. This proposed swap line would give the UAE Central Bank inexpensive access to dollars to shore up its currency and help bolster foreign reserves. So guys, another reason here why Trump needs to end this war immediately. It's unlikely the Federal Open Market Committee or the Federal Reserve would approve this swap line should the UAE end up requesting it. So guys, more instability here. Not a good sign. Let me know what you think about this, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
This isn't just a trade deal. It is a declaration of independence. And until we continue to fight for our total independence, we'll continue to be under the mercy of other people. This move has left Western allies in a panic. If the UAE drops the dollar, others will follow. We are seeing the world splitting into two financial blocks. One side clings to the old guard, while the other, led by China and the Gulf states, is building a system where the US can no longer use the dollar as a weapon of sanctions. Will Africa follow? Will we continue to be waiting for orders before we act? And here is the hard truth for us. While the UAE uses its resources as leverage to demand respect and security, where does Africa stand? We sit on the greatest mineral wealth on the planet: gold, lithium, oil, cobalt, mention it. Yet, most African nations still sit and wait. We wait for the West to approve our budgets. We wait for the East to build our roads. We wait for everything to be done for us. We see the AES, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso starting to take back their sovereignty, but the respect of the continent remains tied to the colonial currency and foreign dependency. We are never ready to wake up and do something for ourselves because we continue to be waiting for daddy to do something. The UAE is teaching us a master class. They are showing us what you don't ask for: sovereignty. You take it by making yourself independent. Nobody can ever give us the independence we want. The world is changing. The streets of the dollar are being repaved with the yuan and digital currencies. Africa, where is our stand? Are we going to continue to be waiting and to be hiding behind daddy's back? The world has changed. And this is not the time we need to be waiting for other people to come here and do anything for us. People are taking their own destinies into their own hands. People are using what they have to their advantage. Will we continue to hand over everything to people just because we also want power and to benefit ourselves and think about our nuclear family and not the population? Where is our stand? This is the time. Iran has taught us a lesson. Now we are learning from UAE. They are the reason to which petrodollar is what it is today. And they are ready to collapse it. Because if you don't do what I want, you get what you don't also want. This is the only way Africa can build. Until we fight for independence, we'll continue to be slaves. And in this new world, like the Finland president said, we do not need to continue to be pawns. We need to be players. And how do we become players? By learning how other people play the game right in front of us. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, Middle East, and in UAE.